What if I told you that one tiny coin sitting in your kitchen drawer could be worth over $675,000? No, this isn't a fairy tale. This is the unbelievable story of a 2004 George Washington silver quarter dollar, a coin so rare, collectors are fighting for it like it's treasure from a sunken ship. In fact, one single collector recently paid a staggering $675,000 for one of these elusive coins. Yes, $675,000. For a quarter. So before you toss that jar of coins, you may want to think again. What makes this 2004 George Washington quarter so rare, how to know if you own one, and why time might be running out to sell it for the most profit. Because let's be honest, it's either gathering dust, or gathering dollars. And wait till you hear the bizarre mistake the US Mint made that turned an ordinary quarter into a fortune. In 2004, to honor the legacy of George Washington, the US Mint issued a commemorative quarter as part of a popular state quarters program. But something went wrong, in the best way possible. A small number of these coins were accidentally struck on 90% silver planchets, originally intended for proof coins, not circulation. These were never meant to be in your pocket. Yet a few slipped through. Imagine ordering a cheeseburger and getting a gold bar wrapped in lettuce. That's the kind of mistake we're talking about. And here's the kicker. These silver planchet errors bear the Philadelphia Mint mark, making them ultra-rare. Experts believe only a few dozen exist today. Which means, if you have one, you're sitting on a financial time bomb, in the best way. One coin sold for $381,875 at auction, another reached $504,000, and most recently, the eye-watering $675,000 sale shattered expectations. But what if I told you there's an even rarer version, with a detail so small, 99% of collectors miss it completely? The Mint mark on the obverse, the unmistakable silver sheen, heavier and shinier than a typical quarter, reeded edges with a clean, uniform cut, no copper streaking. And time is ticking. As more of these coins are discovered, the market adjusts. Rarity drives value, but only while it's still rare. So no, your neighbor's coin isn't worth $675K, unless it is. This is the kind of opportunity that can change a life, pay off debt, buy property, fund retirement, or finally take that trip to Italy. But here's the worst-case scenario: you give it to a bank machine, for 25 cents. And if you think this coin is impressive, wait until you hear about the 1970s quarter that accidentally has a Canadian coin struck into it. That's next. Go check your coin jars, drawers, collections. Take a second look at your 2004 quarters, especially those with a Mint mark. And drop a comment below if you think you found one. I might feature you in the next video. What if I told you that a single coin in your drawer, one you've likely ignored for years, could be worth more than most cars, homes, even college tuitions? You see, the 1998 Mint mark George Washington silver quarter dollar isn't just currency, it's a key. A key that has recently unlocked $475,000 in cash for one lucky and aware American. Sounds like fantasy? It's not. And if you think you don't have one, think again. These quarters are everywhere, in coffee tins, in closets, even under couch cushions. And guess what? One of them could be yours. In fact, if you're watching this on your lunch break, you might want to flip over that couch right now. I'll wait. Okay, maybe finish the video first. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why this unassuming coin is now selling for nearly $500,000, how to spot the real deal, and most importantly, what to do if you find one. But before we get to the jaw-dropping reason behind its skyrocketing value, let's rewind a bit, because this story starts where all great treasure tales begin, with something overlooked. The year was 1998. Google had just launched, Titanic ruled the box office, and the US Mint, in Philadelphia, quietly pressed millions of quarter dollars bearing the face of George Washington. But out of those millions, a rare few were born with anomalies, minting flaws, silver planchets in a copper batch, and an extraordinarily crisp strike, all of which made them collector's gold. What's rarer, a winning lottery ticket, or a 1998 silver quarter with AP mint mark in pristine condition? Believe it or not, it's the coin. One such coin, graded MS-67 by PCGS, meaning near perfect condition, was recently auctioned for a mind-blowing $475,000. And here's the kicker. Most people who had this coin, they spent it on gum, or gas, or tossed it into a Coinstar machine, because they didn't know what they were holding. This is the moment where average lives separate from wealthy ones, not by effort, but by awareness. So how can you tell if your coin is the one? That's where the story gets even more interesting. To identify a true treasure, look for these 3 markers on your 1998 P. George Washington quarter. Look just beneath the wreath on the obverse, head side. If there's a clear P, you're on the right path. These rare quarters are silver, not the usual copper nickel. You can test it with a magnet, it shouldn't stick. Weigh it, silver is slightly heavier, or better yet, get it authenticated. Condition is king. If it looks brand new, don't clean it. Just store it safely and get it graded by PCGS or NGC. And no, grading it with your smartphone flashlight doesn't count. Once verified, this coin can fetch anywhere from $10,000 to nearly $500,000, depending on its grade and rarity. But here's the urgent truth. These coins are getting scooped up, fast. Collectors, investors, and even big auction houses are hunting them aggressively. Which means, every day you wait could be a day where your coin is lost, damaged, or spent without realizing what it's worth. So what now? Check your drawers. Your change jar. That old box of keepsakes. Right now. And if you find a 1998 P. Washington quarter, protect it like gold, because it just might be. Your story, your journey to wealth, doesn't have to start with a lottery ticket or a business plan. Sometimes, it starts with something as simple as a coin. Have a coin you think is valuable? Drop a comment below and I'll help you assess it. Want to see a list of other quarters worth thousands? Subscribe and turn on notifications. Next week, we're revealing the top 5 that most people overlook. What if I told you, a simple coin in your junk drawer could be your ticket to a 6-figure payday? What if that quarter you used for a parking meter yesterday was actually worth $685,000 today? Sounds crazy, right? But stick with me for the next few minutes, and I'll show you exactly why one small silver coin from 1990, specifically the George Washington quarter with a P mint mark, has collectors scrambling, and millionaires being made overnight. Yes, I'm talking about a coin. Not crypto, not stocks, not NFTs. A coin. That thing you tip your barista with. And by the end of this video, not only will you know what makes this coin worth more than most homes, but you'll also learn how to check if you might be holding a piece of American treasure that could change your financial future. Let's go back to 1990. Gas was $1.16 a gallon. You could buy a movie ticket for $4. And the US Mint was quietly producing millions of George Washington quarters, one of which would later sell for nearly $700,000. Why? Because one batch of these coins minted in Philadelphia, marked with a small P just above the date, contained a rare and mysterious error. A silver composition that was never supposed to exist in modern quarters. It was like striking oil in your backyard, and not realizing it for 30 years. These quarters were supposed to be copper-nickel clad. But a few were accidentally struck on silver planchets, essentially leftover blanks from earlier coin runs. Only a handful are confirmed to exist. And here's the kicker, most people spent them on gum, on gas, on tolls. Can you imagine accidentally giving away $685,000 for a bag of chips? So how do you know if your 1990p quarter is the one that can change everything? Look for the year 1990, and a tiny P just above the 9. That's the Philadelphia Mint. Drop it on a hard surface. A silver quarter makes a high-pitched ping. A regular one? Sounds like lunch money. Normal quarters weigh 5.67 grams. Silver ones? 6.25 grams. That tiny difference could be a life changer. Flip it sideways. If you see a solid silver edge with no copper strip, you might just be holding the coin of a lifetime. But let's say you think you found one. What next? How do you go from lucky find to life-changing cash? Get it authenticated. Send your coin to a trusted grader like PCGS or NGC. If it's legit, they'll issue a certificate and grade it. This can dramatically increase its value. Auction time. Coins like this don't just sell, they ignite bidding wars. One sold for $685,750 at a heritage auction. And guess what? That wasn't even the highest potential grade. Forget flipping houses. Try flipping quarters. With silver prices climbing and collector demand rising, some experts say these coins could break the $1 million mark within the next decade. But the longer you wait, the more risk you take. Someone else might spend it, grade it, and take the payday that could have been yours. Look, you can ignore this video, toss that quarter back in the drawer, and go back to life as usual, or you can take 5 minutes, check your old change, and maybe, just maybe, uncover a hidden fortune. Because this isn't the only rare quarter out there. In fact, there's another one from 1983 that's even rarer, but that's a story for our next video. Call to action: smash that like button if you've ever held a quarter. Subscribe if you want to learn how to turn old coins into real wealth. And comment below if you've got a 1990p in your pocket right now. You never know, we might be looking at the next big find. What if I told you, the quarter you casually tossed into your junk drawer in 1995, could now be worth more than $500,000, you're holding a simple silver coin in your palm, and it's secretly worth $675,000. Life-changing money, hiding in plain sight. Sounds unbelievable? Well, stick around. Because in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to reveal why a 1995p mint marked George Washington quarter has collectors scrambling, and why your old pocket change might just make you a millionaire. But don't blink, by the time this video ends, someone might already beat you to it. Let's rewind to 1995, Bill Clinton was president, the internet was dial-up, and quarters? They were just quarters. Or so we thought, but hidden among the millions of coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint that year, were a few rare anomalies. Coins with a perfect storm of errors, conditions, and metallic content. We're talking about the 1995p silver George Washington quarter, a coin that wasn't even supposed to be silver. Wait, silver? In 1995? Didn't they stop making silver quarters in 1964? Exactly. That's what makes this one so valuable. So yeah, if your quarter from 95 is silver, you're either extremely lucky, or living in a simulation glitch. Either way, cha-ching, only a few of these silver planchet errors were accidentally struck at the mint, meaning this isn't just a collector's coin, it's a historical mistake worth its weight in gold. So why exactly is this coin valued at a staggering $675,000 today? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and demand. This quarter was graded MS 67 by PCGS, that's mint state, nearly flawless. And flawless plus rare equals jackpot. A recent private auction saw one of these coins sell for over $500,000. And the market? It's only heating up. Coin investors and collectors are on a treasure hunt, scouring estate sales, safe boxes, and coin jars across America. And every month, another one of these rare quarters surfaces. When's the last time you checked under your car seats, or in that jar labeled Vegas money? Because you might be sitting on a fortune, literally. And here's where it gets exciting: you don't need to be a coin expert to cash in. In fact, most of these high-value finds, they come from regular folks, retirees, moms cleaning out drawers, even truck drivers dumping coins into Coinstar. But here's the twist. There's one specific detail on the 1995 P quarter that makes it a potential goldmine, and if you miss it, you could throw away $675,000 without even knowing it. Located just below the word, "In God We Trust." Compare it to a regular quarter. If it has a different color tone and rings differently when dropped, that's a clue. A silver planchet coin lacks the typical copper-colored edge most quarters have. If your coin checks these boxes, do not clean it, send it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading. That grading could be the difference between $10 and $675,000. Think of this like a modern treasure map. And the X that marks the spot? It might just be hiding in your change bowl, purse, or that box of random trinkets from 2002. You don't need Wall Street investments, risky crypto bets, or lottery luck. Sometimes, all you need is a forgotten quarter. Check your change. Inspect every quarter from 1995. Look for the P mint mark. Test for silver. You could be sitting on generational wealth. This isn't just a coin. It's a second chance, and here's your cliffhanger. Next week, I'll be revealing another quarter even rarer than this one, and one recently sold for $1.20 million. Hit subscribe, tap the bell icon, and drop a comment if you found a 1995 P quarter, because someone watching this video is going to get rich. Will it be you? What if I told you that a simple quarter, the kind sitting in your junk drawer or coin jar, could be worth more than your car, your house, or even your entire retirement savings? You're looking at what might be the most shocking coin discovery in U.S. history. The 1967 no mint mark George Washington silver quarter dollar. That's right, a coin that, at first glance, looks completely ordinary, is now worth up to $675,000 on today's market, and has already fetched over 7 figures at private auctions. And the craziest part? Tens of thousands of Americans might unknowingly have one. Before you toss out that old coin collection from your grandparents, stop. Because today, we're diving deep into why this quarter is so rare, how to know if you have one, and what it takes to sell it for life-changing money. Brain pattern interrupt, with humorous twist. Now I know what you're thinking. It's just a quarter. What's next? My old sock is worth $500,000. Stay with me. Because once you understand what makes this coin so special, you'll never look at spare change the same again. Most people miss their shot at wealth because they wait too long, or worse, they throw their goldmine away without even knowing it. Don't let that be you. But what exactly happened in 1967 that makes this quarter so rare? And why are collectors desperately searching for it, even today? Let's rewind to 1967. The U.S. Mint was in a frenzy, silver prices were skyrocketing, and coin hoarding had become a national obsession. To combat the chaos, the Mint stopped placing mint marks on coins, creating confusion among collectors and the general public. But in that transition, a few rare quarters were struck using leftover 90% silver planchets, normally phased out in 1964. These errors, they slipped into circulation, unnoticed. The 1967 silver quarter looks nearly identical to regular clad versions, same George Washington profile, same eagle reverse. Silver weight is 6.25 grams versus 5.67 grams in clad. It has a distinct ring when dropped and a gorgeous, unmistakable silver luster. Try it yourself. Drop a few quarters on a table. If one sounds like it belongs in a symphony orchestra, you may have just hit the jackpot. Imagine selling a single quarter, and finally buying that cabin in the mountains, the beach house, or funding your dream retirement. That's not fantasy. It's already happened. A verified 1967 silver quarter with no mint mark sold for $675,000 in a high-stakes auction in early 2024. But here's the catch, only a handful are confirmed to exist. And experts believe there are more hidden in personal collections, waiting to be found. That means every day you wait, the chances of discovery, and your potential payout, slowly disappear. So how do you know if your quarter is the real deal? And if it is, how do you sell it for top dollar without getting ripped off? 1967. Look for the absence of a mint mark, weigh the coin. If it's 6.25 grams, you might have a silver version. Get it professionally graded by a trusted third party like PCGS or NGC. Never sell it to a pawn shop or local dealer without an appraisal. They might offer $20 for a coin worth $200,000. Once verified, you can list it with elite auction houses or collectors. This is where life-changing deals are made. Some sellers have received private offers even before public auctions began. Your path to wealth might not start with stocks, crypto, or lottery tickets. It might just start with a dusty old quarter passed down from your parents. The door is open. But it won't stay open forever. So the next time you hear that clink of coins, don't just walk away. You might be walking past $500,000. Want to know the top 5 most valuable quarters in America, including one worth over $2 million? Make sure you subscribe, tap the bell, and check out our next video, because one of them could be sitting in your collection right now. And remember, drop a comment below if you've got a 1967 quarter. You might just be sitting on a fortune, and we'll help you find out. What if I told you, the old quarter in your drawer could be worth more than a Ferrari? Yes, you heard that right. That dusty 1984 George Washington quarter dollar, the one you almost dropped in a vending machine last week, could be worth over $635,000 today. And no, this isn't a joke, a gimmick, or one of those too good to be true TikTok tricks. This is real. This is rare. And this could change your life. So before you toss another coin in a coin jar or let it sit forgotten in a shoebox, you might want to watch this entire video. Because by the end, you'll know how to spot a fortune in your own pocket change. Let's begin. Let's rewind the clock back to 1984, not the Orwellian dystopia, but a very real year that minted one of the most mysterious and valuable coins in US, the 1984 George Washington quarter. Now, here's what makes it so special. Unlike ordinary quarters, this coin was struck at the Denver Mint with unusual errors, rare metal compositions, and a mysterious silver planchet anomaly. Most quarters that year were made of clad, copper and nickel, but this one? It was silver. That's right. A minting mistake or an ultra-limited test run led to a few quarters being made in 90% silver, and they slipped right into circulation unnoticed. Imagine accidentally spending $635,000 at a laundromat. How clean would you cry? But seriously, it's happened. People have spent these coins unknowingly. Others sold them for a few bucks, only to find out years later they gave away a fortune. Fear trigger. Every time you don't check your old coins, you might be passing up life-changing money. But wait, what makes this quarter worth 6 figures? Here's where the excitement truly begins. In 2024, one of these 1984 silver quarters was auctioned for a jaw-dropping $635,000. Collectors lost their minds. Bidding wars erupted. And suddenly, every coin dealer in America had one question: where are the others hiding? And that's when everyday folks, people like you and me, started digging through their drawers, basements, and forgotten piggy banks. Because if one sold for $635,000, others could easily follow. But here's the twist: most people have no idea how to tell if their coin is the right one. There are fake listings, misidentified coins, and unfortunately, shady buyers preying on the uninformed. So stick with me, because I'm going to break down the 3 must-know features that could make your 1984 quarter worth a fortune. But before we go there, let me ask you this: if someone knocked on your door today and offered you $100,000 for a coin you forgot you owned, would you even know what to say? We'll get to how to identify the real thing after this. Studio microphone. Welcome back. Now, if you're still watching, you're one of the few people smart enough to recognize what a 6-figure opportunity looks like. Normal quarters weigh 5.67 grams. The silver version? 6.25 grams. A silver quarter makes a high-pitched ring when dropped gently on a hard surface. Copper-nickel quarters? More of a dull clunk. Silver quarters have a solid silver edge, no copper stripe visible. Bonus tip: if you find a 1984 quarter with a D mint mark and the above signs, do not clean it. It could devalue it instantly. Now here's the urgent part: only a handful of these coins are known to exist. And experts believe many are still out there, tucked in coin rolls, old jars, or inherited collections. Excitement plus urgency trigger. We are in a window of time where these coins are skyrocketing in value. The next sale could cross the $1 million mark, and that could be your coin. Imagine, not just paying off debt, but buying your dream home, traveling the world, or retiring early, all because you took 10 minutes to check a drawer. Studio microphone. So what now? Go look. Seriously, check your stash. Ask your parents. Dig into that forgotten coffee can or vintage coin album. Because the next $635,000 coin is still out there. You don't need luck, you need knowledge. And now, you've got it. If you found this video helpful, subscribe for more coin spotting secrets. Drop a comment if you think you might have a rare coin. I'll be reading them all. And remember, sometimes, treasure doesn't come in a treasure chest, sometimes, it jingles in your pocket, waiting to be discovered. Stay curious. Stay wealthy, and who knows, you might just be one coin away from your dream life. We're talking about the Philadelphia minted silver errors, coins mistakenly struck on 90% silver planchets instead of the standard copper nickel clad. These rare pieces were never meant to exist. They weren't part of any official silver program. Yet somehow, they made it into circulation. Today, one verified specimen fetched $635,000 in a private auction. Here's the kicker: many people who had these coins had no idea what they were holding. Some unknowingly spent them at gas stations or vending machines, giving up hundreds of thousands of dollars for a can of soda. That's not just a loss. That's a financial tragedy. But how do you know if you have one of these hidden treasures? Well, there are 3 telltale signs to watch for, and missing even one could cost you a fortune. How to spot the $635,000 quarter. 3:31, 7:00 inch. Let's talk coin detective work. Here's what sets a life-changing 1997 quarter apart from the rest. The mint mark, check just below the word, "In God We Trust." You should see a crisp letter, P. That tells us it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is key for this specific error. The silver sound and weight. Gently tap the coin on a hard surface. Silver rings at a higher pitch than copper nickel. But better yet, weigh it. A standard quarter weighs 5.67 grams. A silver planchet? Closer to 6.25 grams. That tiny difference could mean a 6-figure payday. Edge color. Most quarters have a copper-colored edge. But if yours looks pure silver all around, bingo. At this point, you're probably digging through your couch cushions like a pirate on espresso. It's okay. I'll wait. Because just one coin with these features could change your life. No college degree. No crypto risks, just the right coin, in the right hands. But now comes the million-dollar question. If you do have the coin, how do you sell it, safely? And who's paying top dollar in 2025? Do not list it on eBay for $25. I repeat, do not. Instead, your first step is authentication. Contact reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC. Their certification is your golden ticket. Once authenticated, you have 2 options. Private collectors. Wealthy coin collectors are actively hunting for this specific 1997 silver quarter. Some even work through brokers to find them. This is where 6-figure offers often begin. High-end auction houses. Think Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or even Sotheby's. With the right marketing, your coin could cross the $1 million mark, especially if it's in mint condition, turning a forgotten drawer coin into your kid's college fund, paying off your mortgage, retiring early, even traveling the world first class. That's not just a win. That's legacy-level wealth. You've probably spent thousands of quarters in your life. But what if the right one found you? Subscribe for more valuable coin finds, share this with someone who might have a jar of quarters collecting dust, and most importantly, check your change, because your millionaire moment might just be in your pocket.